Hello everyone! It feels like it's been a ridiculously long time since the last Godzilla review. It hasn't really, it's only been about 5 weeks I think, but it feels like a long time because after I did the last one, Son of Godzilla, I was so ready to keep going and do the next one. But when I went on my library website to order it, it turned out that it was already out. It was already checked out to one person, and someone else had a hold on it. So I had to sit on a wait list for a few months. Or not a few months, a few weeks. If it had been a few months, that would be really crazy. But I've got it now, so at last it's time for this review of the 9th Godzilla movie, known in Japanese as Kaiju Soshingeki, but known in English as Destroy All Monsters. Destroy All Monsters was released in 1968 and marks the final collaboration of the 4 original masterminds behind the Godzilla franchise: Ishiro Honda as director, Eiji Tsuburaya as special effects supervisor, Akira Ifukube as composer, and Tomoyuki Tanaka as producer. This is the first of several movies, so I've heard, that deals with the concept of the Monster Island. This island, here called Monsterland, is established as a place where the different monsters can live peaceably with each other under scientific surveillance. But a group of aliens sabotages Monsterland and sets the monsters loose, directing them by remote control to attack major cities around the world, thereby clearing the way for the aliens to take over. This movie just goes all out in every direction. It explores the full gamut of possibilities within the science fiction genre, with giant monsters, flying saucers, space travel to a base on the moon, video screen communication, an evil alien race, all females apparently, using their advanced technology to subjugate Earth, putting microchip implants in people's necks to change them and force them to do the aliens' bidding. Yeah, there's a whole lot of classic sci-fi tropes thrown in here. We've also got a more widespread international focus than ever before. We see Godzilla attacking New York, and another monster attacking Paris, and hear about others in Beijing, Moscow, London. And hello, this is like the big daddy of kaiju movies, featuring 11 monsters! We've got Godzilla, who acts as the leader, of course, and he is almost ubiquitous in this movie. I feel like he pops up everywhere. We've also got Mothra in larva form, and Rodan, and Manila. Yay! Actually, he's a lot more palatable in this than in the last movie. There's also the spider Kumonga, who was also introduced in Son of Godzilla. And there's Anguirus, who was Godzilla's opponent way back in the first sequel, Godzilla Raids Again. For some reason, I felt really happy seeing Anguirus again. Not that I consider him a favorite, but it was cool that they brought him back after all these years, and I don't know, I find the sound he makes kind of fascinating. Now, I thought I was being smart and preparing myself for these Monster Mash movies by watching all of the Godzilla films in order so that when the time came, I would know the monsters, know their sounds, and all of their special powers, I'd be able to identify each one on sight. Makes sense, right? But it turns out that there are some monsters included in this that were not originally part of the Godzilla franchise. They appeared in other movies. Other movies that I did not see. So when they showed up, I was like, who are you? I have since looked them up, so now I'm in the know. There's this guy Baragon, who first appeared in 1965's Frankenstein Conquers the World. There's Gorosaurus, who was featured in 1967's King Kong Escapes. He's basically just a dinosaur. He looks like a dinosaur. The name Gorosaurus, that just screams dinosaur. There's Varan, who was introduced way back in 1958's Varan the Unbelievable, or Daikaiju Baran. And there's Manda, who appeared in 1963's Atragon. Well, that makes sense. Manda is modeled after the Chinese dragon, and because he's so serpentine and I hate snakes, I find him pretty freaky. These monsters end up going up against King Ghidorah, who makes his appearance rather late in the movie as the alien's big defensive weapon. And as always, King Ghidorah is fabulous. Now, since I am reviewing the Godzilla series from a different perspective than that of a lifelong fan, then this movie probably doesn't have quite the same emotional impact on me as it would have had if I'd grown up with these movies, grown up with Godzilla. But I totally understand why this movie is so popular among the fans. To see all of these monsters that you recognize and love coming together in one movie is huge. It's like seeing a movie that has all of your favorite actors in it. You do have to wait to the very end for the big fight, which is the pattern with these movies, but still, since I was so eager for it right from the start, it was like, when's it gonna happen? There's quite a lot of build-up, basically a whole film's worth, and it does focus on the human characters, Akira Kubo and Yukiko Kobayashi in particular. And I can't really object to that. If it was a whole movie of just monsters fighting each other, I'd be bored. But each monster gets a share of the spotlight in the lead up to the big moment, and then the final showdown, which we've all been waiting for, is great fun. It's an exciting, fast-paced fight featuring some new monster suits, some creative camera angles, and interesting close-ups on the monsters, and it's definitely one of the more violent fights we've seen. There's actual bloodshed. Everybody has a part to play, including Manila, and even though King Ghidorah is really cool, it's also neat to see the other monsters working together to beat the snot out of him. Yay, teamwork! Because the last couple movies weren't huge successes and Toho was thinking that maybe this kind of movie wasn't what the public wanted anymore, this movie was intended to be the last Godzilla film, and as such, I think it would have been a great conclusion. But it did so well that then Toho decided not to end the franchise after all, and to keep making Godzilla movies. Should they have quit while they were ahead? It's an interesting discussion question. I can't really say because I haven't seen any of the movies after this yet, but I do think it's nice for a franchise to go out on a high note, and I do know that the next movie, All Monsters Attack, is the lowest rated Godzilla movie on IMDb. So there's that. That should be a fun review. I do want to say thank you to those of you who let me know ahead of time that Destroy All Monsters was a favorite of yours. I like knowing things like that as I go into the movie. It just makes it that much more fun. So, of course, keep that audience participation coming. And until next time, thanks for watching!